The blood is boiling and the passion is still going on. Hello everyone, welcome to the Mamba Star Stage. As we all know, in addition to showing exquisite basketball skills on the court, NBA players often have various talents, and can be called all-round talents. Some of them can ignite the rhythm with their voices in the recording studio, some can outline a delicate artistic world with a paintbrush, others have become trendsetters in the fashion field with their unique aesthetics. These hidden talents make them still shine with diverse charm off the court. O'Neal, who frequently appears on major American social media after retiring, is also known by the current younger generation. He is a rapper and comedian who was delayed by basketball. If it weren't for his lack of dedication, maybe Kobe would have won 12 championships. This naturally powerful genius dominated the league with his talent, and became the most dominant interior behemoth in NBA history. And he is also the only creator of 3 consecutive championships in the 21st century. On March 6, 1972, O'Neal was born in the slums of Newark, New Jersey. The environment here is harsh, and it is a paradise for criminals. What's more unfortunate is that O'Neal's mother, Lucille O'Neal, was only 17 when she was pregnant. His biological father, Joseph Tony, was imprisoned when O'Neal was 6 months old. It was not until he was 7 years old that O'Neal sought his biological father for the first time. Joseph Tony was once a basketball player, but later wasted his talent because he got involved in contraband. In O'Neal's eyes, only his stepfather Philip Harris is the one he really cares about. Although O'Neal had an unfortunate background, fortunately, his mother and adoptive father loved him very much. He inherited the tall genes of his parents, and had a huge figure since he was a child. Every time she went somewhere, his mother had to take his birth certificate with her. Whether it was bus drivers or subway attendants, when they saw O'Neal, they couldn't help exclaiming that this guy was only 9 years old. In 1982, when O'Neal was 10 years old, an event occurred that would change his life. Due to his stepfather's work, the O'Neal family often had to move to new environments. At school, O'Neal was an unruly student. During a fight with a classmate, after a bout of his punches and kicks, the classmate suddenly had an epileptic seizure, rolled his eyes and convulsed. This almost cost the child his life. After learning about this, his stepfather was furious and gave O'Neal a severe beating. From then on, O'Neal no longer acted as a local ruffian. Harris, who was a former soldier, played the role of a strict father at home. The naturally naughty O'Neal once stuffed chains in his school bag, stole things from convenience stores, smashed car windows on the roadside, and even broke into other people's homes to steal. He was a little villain who did all kinds of evil. Many years later, O'Neal also said without Harris's strict discipline, he wouldn't have achieved what he has today. Also influenced by his stepfather, O'Neal began to get involved in basketball. Harris also had outstanding basketball talent, and was once praised as a combination of the Chief and the Iceman. Every weekend, he would teach O'Neal to practice basic skills. Benefiting from his stepfather's words and deeds, O'Neal learned how to box out and shoot correctly. He also gave Shaq a biography of Jabbar. From then on, a seed named basketball was planted in O'Neal's heart. In 1984, the family moved to Wildflecken, Germany. At this time, the 13-year-old O'Neal had grown to about 2 meters tall. By chance, Dale Brown, the basketball coach of Louisiana State University, came to the military base where Harris was stationed to do temporary coaching. O'Neal quickly took a liking to this coach. He asked Brown how to improve his basketball skills. Coach Brown looked at the strong kid in front of him, and agreed that he would formulate a strength training plan for Shaq. After returning to school, at the same time, he casually asked, "How long have you been serving in the military camp?" But O'Neal replied, "I'm not a soldier, I'm only 13 years old." Hearing this, Brown was stunned. He thought that this big guy would achieve great things in the future, and decided to find his parents to have a good talk. However, his father refused the coach's kindness. He believed that the most important thing for black children at present was to focus on their studies. In this way, Shaq got to know his mentor Brown. The door to the basketball world was slowly opening to him. Based on his love for basketball, O'Neal, who entered high school, signed up for the school team tryouts, but unexpectedly, he wasn't selected. However, who would have thought that this unselected O'Neal would dominate the league in the future, and become a nightmare feared by everyone throughout the history of the NBA? There have been countless great players in the center position, such as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell, Hakeem Olajuwon, and David Robinson, but it was not until his appearance that people truly realized what a terrifying prehistoric behemoth is. The bulky O'Neal has flexible footwork, and his heavy limbs don't affect his delicate hand skills at all. As a generation of basket inspectors, shattering backboards is a common occurrence. Who would have thought that such a person couldn't even get into the school team when he was a freshman in high school? After being eliminated by the school team, he almost gave up basketball, and even suspected that he had no basketball talent. But his stepfather Harris didn't think so. Adhering to the military attitude of never giving up, he let his son persist in practicing with soldiers in the army to continuously improve his basketball skills. Thus, under the day and night training, O'Neal's basketball skills improved by leaps and bounds. Entering his sophomore year of high school, the school team that looked down on him was no longer a match for O'Neal. In 1987, due to his father's job transfer, O'Neal's family moved to San Antonio. O'Neal's fate was completely rewritten. The little fat guy who was once looked down upon had grown into a top performer among his peers. The underdog Cole High School would also undergo earth-shaking changes because of his arrival, but before dominating the high school basketball world, O'Neal still needed to overcome his inner demons. The painful experience of being rejected by the school team back then was like a thorn in Shaq's heart, deeply hurting his self-esteem. O'Neal still didn't dare to dunk when he was a senior in high school. In a game, Shaq had a perfect dunk opportunity facing the basket, but he actually missed a layup. His son's cowardly behavior angered Officer Harris, who was watching the game. During the timeout, he grabbed O'Neal's clothes and roared, "Go dunk one for me." Under the gaze of the entire audience, Shaquille blocked O'Neal's energy channels, and from then on, a fierce beast broke free from its shackles. Powerful and heavy dunks became O'Neal's synonym. Under his leadership, Cole High School achieved a terrifying record of 68 wins and 1 loss in 2 years. The only loss was because O'Neal missed 2 crucial free throws in the state finals. From this time on, free throws became a lifelong nightmare for O'Neal. With his dominance in high school basketball, O'Neal received invitations from many top basketball schools. In the end, he chose Louisiana State University where Coach Brown was, but O'Neal was hit when he first arrived at the university. Everyone here is a favored child of heaven. He wasn't even the strongest player on the team. A guy named Stanley Roberts stole all his limelight. How could the highly competitive Big O'Neal tolerate himself being inferior to others? In his rookie season, O'Neal handed over a perfect report card of 13, 9 points and 12 rebounds per game. He also contributed 115 blocks, becoming the first player in the NCAA Southeast Conference to have more than 100 blocks in a season. In one of the games against Loyola Marymount University, O'Neal even recorded a super triple-double of 20 points, 24 rebounds and 12 blocks. In his sophomore season, with Roberts leaving the team, O'Neal became the leading star. His per-game stats also rose to a terrifying 27, 6 points, 14, 7 rebounds, and 5 blocks, with a shooting percentage as high as 62.8%. That year, he became the first player in the history of the Southeast Conference to rank first in 4 statistical categories: points per game, rebounds, field goal percentage, and blocks. Although O'Neal's stats were impeccable, the team regrettably stopped in the first round of the NCAA tournament due to his leg injury. O'Neal also missed out on the Naismith Award and the Wooden Award. In his junior season, O'Neal still averaged a luxurious 24.1 points, 14 rebounds, and 5.2 blocks per game. However, he still failed to win the Naismith Award and the Wooden Award. The team lost to Indiana University in the second round of the NCAA tournament again, with no achievements in leading the team and being overshadowed in personal honors. O'Neal, who was preparing for the draft, felt uneasy in his mind. Christian Lettner, a member of the Dream Team and 2-time NCAA champion, seemed more deserving of being the first overall pick. However, the result was beyond O'Neal's expectation. In the 1992 NBA draft, the Magic won the first overall pick with a 9% probability. They didn't hesitate to select Shaquille O'Neal. The people of Orlando were completely crazy that year. The 20-year-old O'Neal officially joined the NBA. A golden era belonging to dominant centers was beginning with pride. If you like my channel, please like and subscribe to it.